Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Shaw Park in beautiful downtown Winnipeg. Scott Taylor, Curt back. The Major Misconduct. This is 360Winnipeg.ca, and it is the sports report. And because it's the sports report, we have to talk about the National Hockey League, whether we like it or not. I know we don't want to talk about lockouts, but this past weekend, the real first salvo was fired across the bow. Gary Bettman said that if we don't have a deal by September 15th, the owners are going to lock out the players. Donald Fear wanted to continue going on the collective bargaining agreement that will have expired on the 15th, but the owners won't have anything to do with that. They say they have to get a better deal. I think it's going to be really difficult this time around for the owners to get a better deal because they won the last war.
Well, they won it, but they lost it. And if you look at the way they look at it now, as far as the salary cap went from $39 million to $70 million very, very quickly. You know, it's funny.
But then the revenues rose.
I know.
It
well, they
rose
went
with
from
revenues.
$2.2 billion to $3.3 billion. That's about a 50%, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And that's pretty good. But I know a lot of people are forecasting a lockout this year, and I tend to be in that group too, but I'm not as convinced it's going to be a lockout this time as it was in 2005. In 2005, it was absolute. Everybody knew there was going to be a lockout. This time, I mean, they've been that route before, and I know you figure that with Donald Fear, it's going to be even a tougher negotiation, but the line's been drawn in the sand, and it just doesn't seem like it should be that complicated. You and I differ. I know you think it's strictly free enterprise. There should be no cap.
No, I didn't say they. Well, I didn't say I believed. Donald Fear believes.
Donald Fear believes. From my perspective, when you're that close to being a 50-50 situation, why not just make it 50-50? If you do that, then you can negotiate the length of the contracts and this sort of thing a little bit afterwards. And that's
it's easy for us to say because it's not our money involved.
Well, yeah, but still, when you go 50-50, then everything rises and falls at the same ratio. Well, so whatever's good for you is good for the league and good for the players.
The problem that exists, though, is
Shane Doan wants $30 million for 4 years. I figured that out. That's $30,000 a period. And you know how they spend most of the period? Sitting there leaning on their sticks saying, let's go, guys, let's go, guys. Now, Shane Doan is a good guy, and a lot of these guys are. But still, it's ridiculous, that kind of money. And, well, let's be realistic.
Well, I don't think
there's too much greed on both sides.
Donald Fear doesn't believe in realism. Donald Fear's mantra his entire career has been no cap, no cap, no cap. So the owners come to the players with 46% of revenues. First question is, what revenues? Second question is, I don't want to cap anyway. Third question is, we're not going to play hockey. It's going to get incredibly ugly before it's over. And this time around, the most interesting part, it's not because of Canadian teams, it's because of poor American teams.
Yeah, the Canadians are paying their way, no question about it, provide most of the revenue, but there's an awful lot of franchises in trouble in the Deep South. Yeah, it's going to be
a long lockout. January at best. That's the best we can hope for is January.
Yeah, I'd say I'm not totally convinced this time around. I think that there might be a little salvation, but dubious.
Yeah, very dubious. Scott Taylor, Curt Keelback. This has been Major Misconduct. We've been at beautiful Shaw Park in downtown Winnipeg. We're on 360Winnipeg.ca. We'll talk to you next week.